September 19th at the Green Bay Distillery, right before the Green Bay Packers take on the Detroit Lions for the home opener. Game On Wisconsin is throwing Todd Varney a birthday party. Okay, not really. It's just an ironic coincidence, but we will be throwing a party at the Green Bay Distillery. Food, football, drinks, prizes, all kinds of stuff you can win. You want to check out our YouTube page, our Twitter page, and our other social media page, Game On Wisconsin, for details. Meet us at the Green Bay Distillery on September 19th. Come meet and greet all of your favorite Game On Wisconsin personalities and have a chance to win some really cool stuff. We hope to see you there.
Big Balls Bob. Not to be confused with Tiny Balls Todd.
I do have a body. It's very fantastic. More of a temple, really, than a body.
I can't tell if he's doing a bit or not.
I'm glad you brought that point up because
Todd's a pussy.
We got to start putting our guests on at like 8 so that people actually watch the rest of the show.
Dan talks about killing babies. Todd and I talk about making babies. There's a big difference. It's right next to Todd's OnlyFans. I'm a below average teacher. I'm a dumbass, and I'm sorry.
The first time you've been let out of Mom's basement, right?
Oh, no, I'm still in Mom's basement, actually.
I hate you guys so much.
I'm going to throw these two guys into the screen so that if I die, they can carry on the legacy of crap that is this show. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm starting a little bit late today. Just kind of like how the Green Bay Packers decided not to show up for the first week of the season. I thought maybe in honor of them, I would just not show up for the first, 15 minutes of the show, basically. It was a terrible game on Sunday night, guys. A terrible way for the Green Bay Packers to start off a Super Bowl run this year, which we all know is coming. We're going to talk about that. We're going to dive into more of this. Welcome into Lombardi's Bar, everybody. I'm your bartender, Dan Kotnick. Here at Lombardi's Bar, we're brought to you by Artec Ventures. The goal of Artec Ventures is to collaborate closely with the founders throughout all the investment and fundraising stages during their visions into successful companies. Since 2020, Artec Ventures has helped turn great ideas into profitable businesses that make an impact on industries, communities, and beyond. Visit artecventures.com for more information. Thank you very much, Artec Ventures, for sponsoring the show, and also our friends at the Wilderness Resort. This is Lombardi's Bar. To get things started, as you know, every time we open the bar, we have a drink special for each and every week, and we ran out of cyanide after Sunday's game. So the only thing we have on tap for you here at Lombardi's Bar is the drink special, Flush the Tape. Perfect for this week. All the players saying that you just flush the tape, get rid of it. What is the Flush the Tape? It's very straightforward, just a warm glass of toilet water. That's all the Packers deserved after Sunday. Usually, we'd spruce this up with some ice cubes, maybe a little garnish on the top, but no. If you score 3 points in your first week of the season, you don't get anything. You just get straight out of the toilet. Speaking of straight out of the toilet, let's bring in the two guys that are with me every single week. It's that guy, Todd Varney, and it's this guy, Jimmy Christensen. Guys, how are you doing?
That was the best intro you've had.
One of the greatest intros of all time. Thank you, man. I think that's the only way to describe Jimmy and I moving forward is straight out of the toilet, much like that game. I feel like if you could make one change to it, maybe add a bit of bleach and throw it in the microwave for a couple seconds.
Yeah, maybe a Tide Pod for a little bit of chewiness.
For that umami flavor or the texture in your mouth, get the mouth feel going.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
Something that just sits in the back of your gums for a while.
As you just seizure out. It's a good call.
Good God. Guys, there's no way to sugarcoat around what happened on Sunday. That is the worst game we've ever seen out of the Aaron Rodgers Packers, right?
One of.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm calling this top two, not two.
Ed, I was actually thinking this as we were talking about it. when I said let it sit in the gums, I was like, ooh, that's what Malort does. It's gross.
It's disgusting.
We love the punter. First off, thank you, Shu, for joining us. Yes, we love the punter around these parts.
Well, two of us do. Todd hates all punters.
That's my dude. That is my dude, Bajorquez.
I think he might have been the only bright spot of the game.
One of very few bright spots.
That's the nicest thing I'm ever going to say about a punter.
Before we jump into dissecting a lot more of what the heck happened with the Green Bay Packers this week and look ahead to the home opener on Monday night in Lambeau Field this week, we're bringing in somebody to help us talk a little bit more about what the heck went right for the Saints. I think really it surprised us, and I think surprised a lot of people in the NFL, and kind of put the rest of the NFL on notice a little bit about this Saints team. Todd, do you want to introduce our special bar patron here on Lombardi's Bar this week?
Yeah, for sure. We've got Tina Howell, who was born and raised in New Orleans, been a season ticket holder for the Saints for 17 years. She's the host of Floors Truly podcast, which is available on YouTube and all. Not Floors. I can't say it. Like we'll make
Floors Truly.
And she's also editor and sometimes writer for Canal Street Chronicles and the founder of Louisiana Strong Disaster Relief Group. You can find them on Twitter at LA Strong Group. You guys aren't going to believe this. The way that Tina and I made a connection was I reached out to make a bet, and I lost that bet. I know that's hard to believe.
Yeah, could not believe that.
Yeah, we'll bring her in here quick. Tina, how we doing?
Hey, guys. Good evening. How are you?
We're getting
not great, Tina, to be honest with you.
I've been a Saints fan my whole life. Been there, done that. I get it. Trust me.
I might listen to a podcast now just for your voice.
Oh,
not
thank
sound
you. That's
incredibly
really
weird, but it goes Elton Jenkins and then Tina on my ranking right now.
That's
a little southernly like Elton's. You guys should have a podcast together.
It's almost like she grew up there, Jimmy.
Shut up, Dan.
Y'all are hilarious.
Tina.
Let me just tell you, y'all have had me cracking up since I've been listening in. So first of all, thank you for having me join y'all tonight. I'm public enemy number one. I know that, but yes, it was a great game. I'm gonna be straight up with y'all. I am one of those fans, and that, you know, I'm it's not a competition for me. I have friends who lived in Green Bay for many years. They're still Packers fans. They don't live there now. And we were texting back and forth through the game, and you know, we both were in shock, to be completely honest with you. I did not predict the Saints to win this game just because of the adversity that we had to face, not just the on the field issues, but the off the field issues with the hurricane and them relocating to Dallas for 2 weeks to practice. A lot of our players have damage to their homes. They hadn't seen their friends and family. And then they go to Florida, and the Superdome, if you've ever been to a Saints game or know anything about the home crowd there, it's a phenomenal environment. So they don't have the home crowd there. They're traveling to Jacksonville. It's just, you know, it just seemed like everything and anything. We had a lot of injuries going back to the on the field issues. We had a lot of injuries. Our starting cornerback was out. Starting wide receiver. We've got a bunch of new names at wide receiver. So I was really concerned about a lot of different things. So I didn't really think I thought it was going to be a close game, but I honestly thought that I was hoping the Saints would win, but I really thought the Packers were going to pull out the win. So me, along with pretty much everybody else here in New Orleans, is completely in shock. But to be honest with you, to take football out of it, it was something that this community in this region really needed after what we've been through the last couple of weeks. It's been really difficult and really hard. I mean, Hurricane Ida came through here and just literally wiped out a lot of small communities, and it's just really heartbreaking.
Absolutely. And that was one of the things that I was thinking, about that game after seeing how the Saints came out. How much of that do you think was the Saints just showing how good they are, and how much of it do you think was them playing off that emotion and trying to give something like that back to the city of New Orleans that they knew needed it so bad?
No doubt our team's extremely talented, but they're also unproven. There's a lot of names on that roster that weren't there last year, or they were rookies last year. And so with all the injuries we had, the rule is next man up. So there was a lot of question marks there. This proves exactly why we as fans are not scouts and we're not coaches, because Sean Payton and company knew what they were doing. And he pulled out his bag of tricks and had it out there. I mean, Jameis Winston, this first game as QB1, set a record, first quarterback to throw for 150 yards and 5 touchdowns. So, I mean, that in itself, just I mean, first game out. I mean, that's something we see Drew Brees do. You know, he 15 seasons here with us, and he was setting records left and right. Not to say anything to knock Jameis Winston, but I mean, he's our quarterback now, and he showed why. He showed all his haters. So I do think emotions played a little bit into that. But I mean, we do have a lot of talent. Our defense, has the guys that have come back this year, and that's one of the things we were talking about on my show. Every year Dennis Allen and company, we always talk about how they start slow. And that's always my concern. Like, how is the defense going to come out? They always, it takes them a while to get amped up. This year I didn't have those concerns because all of our veterans and our leaders are on the defense this year, as opposed to our offense where we've got Jameis Winston coming in this year. Don't know how he's going to gel and have chemistry with these players because, like I said, Michael Thomas isn't there. We've got Alvin Kamara, who's kind of become the face of the offense now. So my concerns, again, this was a complete game. The one thing I can say is that the injuries came out of this game. That was the one negative I can say about this entire game. It's not the play calling. It's not the offense, defense, special teams. It's the injuries. Because, I mean, our injury report, if you saw it today, we got like 9 players on the injury report, in addition to the ones that are already on IR.
Damn. You brought up Jameis Winston, so I have a 2-part question for you.
Sure.
Do you think Jameis Winston is the future of the Saints, and how confident were you in him now that he has LASIK surgery?
He always was a talented quarterback. I mean, you saw what he did in Tampa. You saw the mistakes as well. I've put my faith and trust the process with Sean Payton for years. There's been a lot of players that he signed and we've questioned, and he's always proved us wrong. So when this decision came in and Drew Brees backed it, and I mean, Drew Brees, if you watch any of his interviews, he's come out and said, Jameis Winston is the guy to take over this team. Now, he's only on a 1-year deal, so we don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season, assuming, we get through the next 16 games and he continues to play at the same level he's playing this past week. So I can't really answer that question right now because the future's literally in the palm of his hands. It's all on him. But I mean, I can tell you this, New Orleans is behind him 100%.
Okay. And the LASIK, does that give you a huge boost of confidence? And are you considering getting LASIK if you have glasses?
I don't have glasses, but I can tell you this. I have a good friend of mine who had LASIK, who was basically blind as a bat beforehand, and she sees better than me now. So,
right. Well,
so
next
LASIK...
week I'll be without glasses. I'm going to get these fixed, guys, and I'll be a quarterback in 2 weeks.
That's exactly right, Jimmy. That's exactly how it works. It's the LASIK surgery is the difference. I want to ask you a question, Tina, about a former Packer that is I like to call him the Rudy of the NFL, Taysom Hill. Packer fans have sort of this weird love-hate relationship with him because half of them like really seeing Taysom Hill go out and do the things that he does, and then the other half use Taysom Hill as an excuse to rag on the front office for letting him go and not seeing the potential that Sean Payton saw in him. So from your experience, how do you feel about Taysom Hill, and what's the overall vibe you get from Saints fans
It's
about
the
Taysom
same
Hill?
Feeling here, believe it or not. I mean, a lot of Saints fans have a love-hate relationship with him too. I mean, he worked out this offseason. He lost like close to, I think they said 20 pounds. I mean, he was preparing himself to be the leader of the team, be our quarterback. And as you saw the end of the quarterback competition, I mean, it's now Jameis Winston's job, and he's back to that kind of Swiss Army knife role, which is what he's good at. I mean, I understand, I've never played football, obviously, because I'm a girl, but I know that, growing up, you play ball and that's your goal. You want to be the best at your position. You want to be the leader. But I mean, Taysom Hill, what he does is a special skill set. Not every player in the NFL can do that. And what he does is very good. And he makes it very difficult for defenses to be able to plan for us. So I want him to stay in that role. And I hope that he'll eventually be more accepting of it. I think right now it's just, like he wants to help our team win, but he's had issues in the past as far as ball security. And it's terrible when we're watching the Saints game and we cringe, when he's behind center, because we just don't know what's going to happen. And we shouldn't feel like that, to be blatantly honest. But like I said, I like him. He's a great guy. He's really embraced his community. But I think the role that he plays for the New Orleans Saints is where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've never looked at him and thought like, man, that's a franchise player there. Let's move on from the game. I think group therapy is going okay at this point, but I think we need a breather from talking about the game for a minute. I know I'm getting a little warm over here.
We've moved into the acceptance phase of.
I'll be honest with you. I feel bad. I feel bad for Packers fans because I've made it no secret that I'm not a fan of Aaron Rodgers, and it has nothing to do with his play on the field. It has to do with him personally, the way that he acts. And I don't, I feel like that the things he did in the offseason is now a reflection of what happened in that game. And, a lot of my Packers friends that they feel the same way too. We've had this discussion, like, how would you feel if Drew did the same thing? And I was like, I'd be saying the exact same thing, but I mean, we fortunately never had that with Drew. But with Aaron, I mean, I feel like your team's way too talented to have such a distraction at quarterback right now.
Yeah,
so I do.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the hurricane damage there in New Orleans.
Wow.
What's kind of the scene like there right now?
It's really devastating in certain areas. I mean, in some of the parishes, so y'all have counties, we have parishes, but some of the parishes here, I mean, they're completely devastated, and they're smaller towns that you don't hear about on the news. Everybody associates Louisiana with Baton Rouge and New Orleans. And I mean, these are really small communities that they are just, when I say still don't have power today, and I mean, we're 17 days past the storm. And they're still looking at not getting power until the 29th and 30th of this month, which will put them at a month without power. And adjusters still need to come out. We've, obviously that storm that just came through Nicholas that hit Texas, we got a lot of rain dumped on us here in Louisiana. So there are people that literally have tarps on their roofs and it's raining in their homes again. So it's been really difficult. And that's the thing with Louisiana Strong and why, we're on the ground running and have been. I mean, my group, a lot of people don't realize this group started in 2016. We had some unprecedented flooding here in Southeast Louisiana, and same thing happened. It was smaller communities, smaller towns. It didn't affect New Orleans. It affected Baton Rouge, Assumption, Livingston parishes, but small towns people never heard of. And they weren't getting the media attention. People weren't here. The Red Cross wasn't here. FEMA wasn't here. They weren't, giving out supplies and food, and the National Guard wasn't here. So these communities had to come together, and they had to basically rebuild themselves. So I started the group back in 2016, and then of course, when we don't have hurricane season, we're there, we're still posting things every now and then, but then Hurricane Harvey hit in 17. And I've got friends and family in Beaumont and Houston and Lake Charles, and they were devastated. So it seems like every year something happens. We had Laura last year, which absolutely, flattened Lake Charles. And then here we are now this year with Hurricane Ida. And people have been asking me about Hurricane Katrina that happened in 2005, and she was devastating and literally knocked New Orleans out. But this storm, to me, Ida, was so much more widespread. She's done more damage. And like I said, it's all smaller communities. You're not hearing about it. People just keep saying New Orleans. And then, of course, she went up the coast and went to New York. And look what happened there with the flooding. I mean, just horrific flooding. But yeah, the communities are hurting here. They really are. They need help. They need attention. There's still the National Guard pulled out in some areas because of Nicholas yesterday. Some of these groups that were from Texas that were here have started to pull out because they needed to go home back to their areas, obviously, because of Nicholas. But I mean, it's tough. They don't have internet. They don't have cable. The worst part is that think about technology, what we're doing right now, we take for granted. You don't have power at your home. You don't have internet. So you can't apply online for assistance. Everything now is via internet. You want to apply to make a claim, you have to make a phone call. Well, if your cell service isn't working, you can go do it online. Well, you don't have internet. If you want to apply for FEMA assistance, the best way to do it is online. But if you don't have power and you don't have internet, how can you do that? Some areas don't even have data service because the transmission towers were literally knocked into the water. So it's been really rough. And, that's the thing with me. My attitude is, look, I'm born and raised New Orleans girl. I'm Italian and a redhead. So that tells you everything you need to know about me. I am loud and proud. And if I can do something to help, I'm going to. I'm not going to sit on my butt. So our home was not devastated. We have minor damage. And this happened to us in 2016. So my same attitude that 5 years ago, I'm just older, smarter, and wiser now. So, we've been on the ground running, posting resources, anything for assistance, whether it be meals, whether it be free Wi-Fi centers that are set up, small groups. to larger groups like Samaritan's Purse is here, Crisis Cleanup. They're tarping roofs. They're helping gut homes. Any kind of assistance or relief that's available to a community. And I break it down by parish. So people don't have to go all over the place and try to get information. Because again, they don't even have the resources to be able to do what I'm doing right now, much less sit and go look all over the place. And then if somebody has a question, they can come and ask me. Good case in point, the other day, someone said, where can I get laundry services? I need to wash clothes. Kind of find out that Tide's Hope truck was in the area, like within 20 miles from where she lived. So we were able to get that information, post it online, and people were able to go there. So it's little things like that. I mean, in a grand scheme of things, those little small things, just being able to get, ice water when everything in your refrigerator is gone. And I remember this from the flood back in 2016, because people's homes flooded. It wasn't wind damage. And, you're in a 90-degree weather with, steam and humidity, and you're trying to get out your home and it's hot. We brought water and ice and freezy pops to them. And it was the smallest little thing, but they appreciated it because it was, something that we could do to try to help, to give them some kind of relief, from the heat, and just, hey, look, somebody's here. Someone's here to help.
Yeah. So if people listening want to help out and support you guys in any way, what are some ways that we can do that?
If people can financially help, because I know a lot of people all over the country is still struggling, from the pandemic financially. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people, have been furloughed or now part-time. So, but if you can financially help, I recommend supporting one of our local organizations. There's several out there. They can contact me on Twitter or on the Facebook group, and I'd be happy to refer them. And these are not groups that I'm not familiar with. I actually know the founders of the groups or the executive directors of the groups. So I can actually sit there and say, hey, look, this is the person you need to speak with if you're interested in making a financial donation. But if you can't make a financial donation at this time, look, the best thing to do is to come join our group and share resources, because there are so many organizations out there and I can't get them all. I actually have 4 people that are in the group, including myself, and 2 of them are in areas that are devastated right now. So it's just been me and one other person doing this for the last 17 days. And it's been exhausting. I'm not going to lie. Because from the time I don't sleep much to begin with, but from the time I get up to the time I go to sleep, I'm online trying to pull information, answering texts, DMs, emails, posting on Louisiana Strong Facebook, posting on Twitter, and trying to get the information out there and find out what's going to happen for tomorrow, because every day is different. We had one group that was, giving an example, we had one group that was supposed to make meals the other day and they didn't, and another group stepped in at the last minute but had to change locations, couldn't go to the same location. So people already had that information out there and they were thinking, oh yeah, we're going to go here in this parking lot because this is where this group's going to set up and serve jambalaya. And then it was somewhere, literally blocks away, and they were serving hamburgers. So it's little things like that. I mean, people listening, they're probably like, oh, it's not really a big deal, but it is when people don't have like just the basic necessities right now.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, Tina, we thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
I went ahead and joined your Facebook group there. I'll have to get a list of those center or groups I can donate to, because I obviously lost the bet. And as well as I will get you some cheese sent out in the mail, which was also part of the deal. So we'll be in touch and get that stuff all squared away. But yeah, if anybody else wants to donate, go ahead and give.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter is the best way.
Tina.
Catch me on Twitter.
And
I'm at the Nola Girl.
Perfect. Awesome, Tina. Well, thank you so much for joining us and giving us a heads up on, kind of what's going on down there in Louisiana. And we will hopefully talk to you soon.
Thank you. Y'all have a great night.
Do the same thing you did to us, but to Tom Brady 2 times this year, please.
Yeah, please.
For the rest of the NFL, please do.
I would I would love to throat punch him. Seriously.
Yeah. Let's fuck Tom Brady up.
Thank you, Tina. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Thank you again, Tina Howell, for joining us. Talking about that game a little bit, which was good, but I think more importantly, at the end there, talking a lot about what we can do to help and just kind of raising a little bit more awareness of, it feels like every summer there's hurricanes over and over again, and we kind of lose track of, the recovery after a day or two. And
I had reached out to her, and I did some Katrina relief back when I was in college. And when she had told me that it was more devastating this time around, and I was like, why are we not hearing? I mean, that's just the news cycle these days is, that's something that we should be hearing about all the time. And we're not. So whatever we can do to help spread awareness, I think is pretty important. If anybody out there can help financially, or if you've got some free time coming up and want to go down there and help out, get connected with the group and make a donation or get down there.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. We'll step aside for a break. When we come back, the rest of our usual Lombardi's bar nonsense and bullcrap, and talking about how terrible this game, the actual football game on the field, was for 3/4 of the guests that were in here earlier. We'll be right back.
Nick, you suck at your job.
What is going on here? Let me voice over.
Oh yeah.
I'm Sanjay. I talk like this. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love comic books, and Batman is my favorite superhero, and Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback ever.
I'm Fred. I have a great beard. I'm a very good looking guy. And you can catch me, Sanjay, and Matt Monday nights on Game On Wisconsin. I think it's 7:00.
Pretty sure it's 7:00.
I'm Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Good luck there.
I just figured I'd stick to my usual 2 words and then move on from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
what that was obviously an ad for the Freezer
podcast. Holy shit.
With our guys Sanjay, Matt, and Fred. Nothing that we said was incorrect or inappropriate, if you ask me.
No.
And they are on Mondays, I believe, at 7:00. Make sure you follow Game On Wisconsin to get updates, because I'm probably wrong.
They're much better hosts than us, because they know when we go on. They know when our show is. They're much better at their jobs than we are.
Or if they sent us a good thing, or blame Nick, it's not our fault. All they do is repeat the last thing we say. We didn't get a chance. Three
groups here are at fault, and the 3 of us are only one portion of that group. So our portion of guilt or blame is minuscule. It's a fraction of a fraction.
I refuse to take any blame.
Yeah,
I think we
we're just
killed
working
the
with
ad.
what was given to us.
Yeah, we probably spiced it up a bit, and I honestly forgot we were recording a show for a second. I just thought about us when we do our show.
It's still doesn't. Still
yeah,
not
Nick,
working.
give up.
No,
We
that
did a
was
better
me.
ad.
That was me.
Oh,
Nick, if you want, you can play the other ad that we've got for another fantastic show, if you'd like. Hit.
I hope he talks shit to us like he did that Minnesota Viking player after he caught that. And I pray to God it's Todd. Just one day stands up and just says awful things to you.
Can we talk? Yes, Matt, first off, thanks for joining in here. Spicing up Spicy Sanjay.
Check out, hey, we like your podcast. I got you, Matt.
Matt Piggott, friend of the show. Everybody's a friend of the show.
Everyone's a friend of the show.
Everyone's a friend of the show. Guys, you want to get to some analysis, if you want to call it that, of the game on Sunday?
Yeah.
Really.
We can talk about. Should we start with pay the tab first, since it was so bad, and we finish off with good stuff with buy around?
I honestly feel like if we start with pay the tab, we're never gonna get to buy around. Because once I start spewing hate, it's only gonna stay like that.
That's a good point. All right, let's buy around. Jimmy, kick us off then. Who are you buying around for?
This took me forever. I had it blank there for the longest fucking time. I'm just gonna go Rashawn Gary, but he was one of the only people to get some iota of pressure on Jameis Winston. He had an almost sack that somehow, God, this is how fucking horrible that game was.
He almost had a sack. It was
He almost had
incredible.
a sack that somehow turned into a fucking touchdown. But he was the only one to even get to, besides the Darius getting pressure and that bullshit penalty. Like Rashawn was like the only one to make that happen. So shout out Rashawn.
Todd.
I did buy around Randall Cobb coming in. I don't even know if I was thinking right when I did this.
Yeah, I was wondering why you put him on there.
I saw this. I'm like, how's he going to take this? Where's this going to go?
I think I'm back to where I was pre-show. Buying around for the guy came in and was hoping to have an impact. I know it was only one game, but wasn't even targeted by Rodgers. Wasn't even in there a lot when Rodgers did catch his first pass as a new Packer again from Jordan Love late in the game. But buy him around, and to be honest, that's all I need to see out of him this year. He's an insurance policy to make sure that Rodgers plays hopefully at an MVP level, and this week was a fluke.
All right. I am going to agree with PJ in here because he's spot on. Elton Jenkins should never pay for a drink in the greater Green Bay, Ashwaubenon, Appleton area for the rest of the summer because Elton Jenkins is an absolute boss. I mean, to come out and play at left tackle like that and to be, I think, what was he he was in like the top 5 left tackles rated by PFF, wasn't he?
He was number 3.
Number 3. Yeah. And not only that, but as Nick mentioned or somebody mentioned in the chat, tied for 7th on the team with tackles, getting 2 tackles on both of those interceptions. So Elton Jenkins literally was he was the MVP of the game. And it's really a telling sign that Elton Jenkins is the real highlight of this offense after that game.
Producer Nick made up for his debacle of that ad. No offense, Nick. And he put that Jenkins had more tackles than Lancaster, no surprise, Kiki Burks, Zadarius Smith, Darnell Savage, and then Todd's Pro Bowler, Kevin King.
Elton Jenkins might end up with one of those Larry Fitzgerald type stats where Larry's got more, more tackles than drops in his career.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Elton Jenkins might end up with more tackles than sacks against.
If he is, then he will go down as the best offensive lineman in history to just have that play every position and have more tackles than, and it's going to help once Jordan Love becomes quarterback because those interceptions will be coming in a little hotter.
Yeah. Okay. Let's pay the tab. Todd, do you want to start us off, Todd?
Yeah. I didn't think it would come this quick. Everybody knew.
I love the sigh. You know it's good after you get a sigh.
And then just the head, the hat push up.
Everybody knew that as soon as we saw this defense lay an egg, I was going to call for Joe Barry. I'm not calling for his job yet, but what the hell was that? We came out in the same lay back, just soft zone. Let's not send too much pressure. Let's make sure Jameis Winston is comfortable in the pocket. I mean, the guy's got a career after football as a laser surgeon because, one, he's proved that LASIK works, and two, he might have done it on himself the way he was just picking that defense apart. I mean, I know it was only 150 yards, but it was like there were no mistakes to go along with it. And at no point did we see any kind of an adjustment from Joe Barry other than yelling at somebody different on the field. And I know that they can only coach and you can only put a guy in the right spot. They have to make the play. Guys weren't even in the right spots. I mean, it was a nightmare.
No, that was one of the most telling things for me was just seeing how confused the players looked on defense. This isn't like you came in last summer where you don't have the full training camp, where you didn't have any preseason games. I get that the starters didn't play most of or really any of the preseason, but you this deep. You've had the normal course to get used to this defense, which it's not like it's some completely new off the wall defensive theory. You're all veterans. You all know how each other plays. And to see so many blown coverages and guys doing the wrong assignments and just looking completely out of sorts was so shocking to me.
It was absolutely insane. I just can't get over the play. Jameis Winston, by the grace of God, somehow ended up throwing the ball out or throwing it out of bounds, but he sat back there. We rushed 4.
Oh.
And he sat back there and was just read. I'm going to reread it, going back to his first one, and he was like, fuck it, and throwing it away. And I don't know what brain damage stuff he has to maybe just like switch it back to like, hey, I'm not going to be reckless anymore. Or if Sean Payton's a brain surgery and rewired him a little bit. That usually probably would have been a forced Jameis Winston throw an interception, but no one got pressure on him, just threw it out of bounds. Like, homeboy held it for like 10 seconds. Like, that was a perfect opportunity to get some kind of pressure. And then it seemed anytime we got anything past the line of scrimmage, he just took off and ran and then just did whatever he wanted. That game, dear God, Joe Barry, I'm with Todd.
I think I just put something together here, Jimmy. Last night, on the MVS show with Jimmy and I, Tuesday night's game on Wisconsin, 7:00. He said that there were some other things going on that people didn't know about. Mm-hmm. And then when you asked him to elaborate, he just flat out said no.
Yep. Had to ask.
What if that other thing was, hey guys, this is a 17-week season or a 17-game season. A lot of the starters haven't played. We're going to treat this as full go preseason game, except we're not going to put anything on tape. We don't want to get guys hurt. Go out and just get used to the speed, go through the motions, get things done. But we're not going to go crazy on defense, sending different pressures. And offensively, we're going to keep it pretty vanilla, just to see what this offensive line looks like, which was garbage for the most part. 4/5 of them were trash. I'm going to go with that. That's my theory. It's going to help me get through this week. That's what happened.
Ed just says no.
I love Edwin just. No.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for articulating all me and Jimmy's inner thoughts. Just quiet. Wait for Todd to finish, and then no.
Thank you for letting me. I needed to say it out loud. Thank you for letting me go through that.
The best part is like if this was Dan saying that, Todd would have fucking ripped you a new asshole.
Oh yeah.
Now it's just Todd. We're like,
it was just Todd.
Nah, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
See?
Maybe.
Yes, maybe no.
Do you think how much of a factor do you think the heat was? Like,
I don't think it was that much.
It was like 100 degrees down there on that field. And they were on the side with the sun the whole time. The defense was on the field. I think it was a combination, not just the heat alone, but the offense playing like absolute dog shit. And then you get to the defense is on the field for like 21 minutes of the first half. Like that shit Todd would have been on a stretcher.
Whoa, that's true.
I think that's the biggest part of it was that the defense just had no break, and that heat, you can deal with that heat if it's a normal back and forth game, but to just have the offense play like that, there's no way for the defense to recover. Jimmy, speaking of offense, who needs to pay the tab for you?
Thank you, PJ.
I'll take the shot for him. Oh my gosh, fucking Aaron Rodgers, man. I didn't want to do it because it's such an obvious one, but just the debacle of an offseason, like have fun in Hawaii. Great. Did the Jeopardy thing. Awesome. Congrats. Beautiful fiance. Great for you. But you brought all this shit onto you and the team. And like the team was cool with it. Like the players wise, it seemed like they didn't really matter or like didn't bother him too much because the expectation was he's going to come back. He has a break. Last year, he was saying how when he didn't throw in the offseason, he came back ready to go. He felt the best he ever did. So everyone's kind of expecting the same thing. Revenge tour comes out and then just fucking sucks. Like that was besides that last drive at the end of the first half. And then the one that he ended up throwing the interception on, like every offensive series looked like absolute dog shit. And that second interception was literally, he said he misread the safety, just try to guess what he was going to do. But that's shit that you don't expect from an MVP of, I just thought he'd go this way. Well, motherfucker, he didn't. And now you force a ball to MVS and they got it back. Like, what the hell? I'm mad at Aaron Rodgers if you can't tell.
No, Todd. That was just
Hello.
felt like a Todd take. Sorry. No, Jimmy. I echo all of those sentiments. You're completely right. I don't like at a certain point. I stopped caring what you did during the offseason. I don't care what you're doing or who you're talking to or how many commercials you're doing or, you want to go on Pat McAfee and talk about, the wonderful mysteries of life. I don't care. I really don't care anymore, Aaron. Just come out for at least 17 weeks, probably closer to 2021, and play your ass off. That's all I want. I don't care anymore. And to come out in week 1 after all that and to have zero energy and just look like you were sitting at the DMV. It's crazy. I've never seen Aaron Rodgers like that. And he's playing a dangerous game here because pretty soon I think if this keeps up, fans, the sentiment toward Aaron Rodgers becomes a little bit more hostile.
Grandma Joan.
Joan!
Here. Hey, Grandma.
Keep it together, guys. Keep it together.
Potty mouth is gone, Grandma Joan. Not
Thank
swearing
you,
with
Grandma
you
Joan.
here.
Speaking of potty mouth, I guess I got to edit my
Nope.
edit
You
my
put it down
page.
there. Go
You
for
put
it.
it on. You have to read it, and Joan's gonna think you're.
Earmuffs,
Grandma
Grandma
Joan,
Joan.
I apologize. I apologize so much for this, but the pay the tab, it's fucking all of the Green Bay Packers. All of them. Holy God. It was all across the board. I don't even care. Elton Jenkins, you played amazing, but the whole team as a whole, nobody escapes this. Split the tab 53 ways and get the hell out of here because this was one of the worst all-around team performances I've ever seen an NFL team put up on the field. Like the way that they played, that's what you expect to see out of like a college football game, like Alabama versus, Northwestern Tech University, of Ohio kind of thing. It was a complete mismatch. And week number 1, as I said, you don't come out with any energy. You don't come out with any fire. And you do the thing that you're so prone to doing the first week out of the season when it's the first time most of these guys have seen the football field, this way, or in a starting role this season, and that's the energy you came out with. Like unacceptable, completely unacceptable. The whole team step it up.
My favorite part, I was agreeing with you when you were like, I haven't seen this bad of a performance by a team, and then I was like, that's also because we've had Brett Favre, then Aaron Rodgers, quarterbacks, and we're not like Browns and Bills and Lions fans who have to watch probably
spoiled.
shit like that every week. But yeah, that game, oh man. And I think part of it was just the high expectations we had. Like if we went into it, like when we had like Kaiser and Hundley taking the starting job, like for those times, it's like, okay, well, who knows what's going to happen? But this time we're all going in thinking like, oh, it's the last dance. We're about to just roll on this team and then have this little streak going to start the season. But we got our wake up call. Every team gets that one pass of like, it's a wake up call, whatever. But damn, we had that one early. So like they use that excuse. They did the flush the tape thing. This happens again. Like real questions have to be answered.
I hope it doesn't turn into an old JV basketball coach that I had that every time we would lose, he'd be like, all right, new season starts tomorrow. We're 0-0. Let's get out there and see what we can do. And then you'd lose like 2 games later. Like, all right, new season starts tomorrow. We're 0-0. Let's hope this is the first 0-0 that we're gonna have going back in.
You can only flush so much tape before the toilet backs up, guys. Yep. So there's only so many excuses you get. And you dropped a honker of a log in there in week 1. So
big old
coming up this week, Monday night, should say before the home opener, Sunday night, Game On Wisconsin party at the Green Bay Distillery. Hope to see you guys all there. Oh, it's the Game On Wisconsin party at the Green Bay Distillery. There's no birthday celebrations.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Nothing of that.
I got you, big dog.
Jimmy, what party is it?
Well, just because Grandma Jones in here, it's Todd's birthday party.
Thank you.
Stop by. You can wish Todd a happy birthday if you want. we've got the silent auction is going on right now. You can go on the website and bid on the signed Zadarius Smith jersey and signed Robert Tonyan jersey. But after that, there is going to be a football game. The Packers take on the Detroit Lions. Yeah, is this 40, Todd? Are we over the hill now?
53.
53.
What are you most excited about for this game coming up on Monday, guys?
Sorry, Todd has to go. I really liked this.
Yeah.
I think the matchup I'm the most excited for here is the Packers kneecaps versus Dan Campbell. He scares. There are very few coaches that scare me, but that guy scares me. There's something about him that I'm like, not quite right. Not there. Okay. Got it. And I mean, that team, they might not be as talented as a lot of other football teams, but they don't quit. They showed that this week. I mean, they were getting it handed to them, and they came out and made that a 8-point game there at the end. So I'm not super concerned about losing to them. I wasn't last week either, though, so that shouldn't mean anything probably.
Right.
But just seeing how a team like the Packers bouncing off of that loss can come back against a scrappy Dan Campbell team.
Let's pray to God. Jimmy?
Yeah, I went with the Packers stopping the Lions running backs. Partly one because Jamal have his jersey behind me. But they have no fucking receivers. They have no receivers. The running game.
They re-signed Geronimo Allison. It's the Allison revenge game.
Yeah,
and Peter Bukowski said that it could be me and you, Jimmy.
Yeah,
we could be their receivers.
Never mind. Packers, Jair, me, you, one-on-one. Their running backs are really just the focus of their team. Both of them, DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, had over 100 all-purpose yards. They're getting the ball in the passing game, in the run game. They want to get all the pressure off Jared Goff. So, and we see the Packers, our Achilles heel, are running back. So this could be a long day because we could not stop Kamara and some dude named Jones I never heard of last week. So let's hopefully see if we can stop Jamal, who's on a revenge game, not against the team, but an organization that let him walk. And then DeAndre Swift, who's an up-and-comer.
Lambo brings up a good one, TJ Hawkinson. I mean, how many times have we seen the Packers get scorched by those, super athletic tight ends like that? Had a decent game this past week. That'll have to be one to keep an eye on too. Quintez Cephas, I'm not even going to address.
Whoa, come on.
Come on. No.
Wow.
I'm going to go our offensive line versus the Detroit Lions front seven. TJ Lang tweeted out a clip of a running play, like literally two offensive linemen off the snap, split through the defensive line, and blew up linebackers on the second level for a 10-yard run. It was one of the easiest, plays I've seen offensive linemen make. This is a get-right game. Let these offensive linemen line up and kick the snot out of a front seven that can be pushed around with the running game that we have in AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. Let those two eat, and then let Aaron Rodgers burn them with the play action, and just let this offense work exactly how it is. It starts with the run, though. Get that offensive line up there and just smashing people's faces in for 4 quarters and let them get right. So, running through the rest of our stuff here. Do you want to let's get our picks in for the Survivor pool. Actually, let's start with Drunk Tweet of the Week. Nick, if you want to throw this up here because it's a pretty quick one. Repeat offender, Jermichael Finley, on the Drunk Tweet of the Week here, buddy. Like, there's nothing more to be said about this. Jermichael, you haven't been on the team in nearly a decade, maybe a full decade. I can't remember the last time he was with the team. I think it was the Super Bowl year. But it's almost been a decade, but you don't have any insight into this team. Aaron Rodgers is a completely different person than he was when you worked with him here. And you're commenting on his work ethic and hunger because you're in the building all the time seeing all this stuff. So, Jermichael Finley, I want to love you, man.
Here's the
go
thing.
away to let us love you.
So the last time he was on this team was 2013. So
wow.
Take a second right now and just run yourself back to where you were and what you were doing in 2013.
Right.
And how much you've changed. And then go, hey, any of those people that I used to know back then that I haven't talked to since then, could I still say who they are and what they're like as a person? Probably not.
Right.
Probably not. So this guy's 15. Like, who keeps calling this guy and asking him, like, hey, man, interested in your opinion on Aaron Rodgers?
CBS Sports. Like,
he's the new Greg Jennings.
Greg was
Jennings
busy
has
this
been
week.
chilling out for a while.
Greg
and now
was
they're
busy
like, you know
this
what?
week.
Yeah, let's get Jermichael Finley on here and let's have him just spew garbage.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just trying to stay relevant. He has a new like tight ends training thing he does with kids, and there's probably just a chance for him to promote that bullshit. That's not bullshit, but promote that while saying his other bullshit.
Right. Let's get our picks in for the survivor pool. Last week, trying to look at our picks here.
I had
I'm
the
out.
Rams last week.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, we had if it'll let me open this up, I had it. There we go. We had 11 people in our survivor pool, and 6 of them are out in the first week. One person didn't pick, so I guess actually we had about 10.
People can still join right now, right? If they want to.
I believe so.
No.
I think you can still
No,
join.
you had to be in week 1.
Did you?
Yep.
We
Are
might
you
be going
being
to
serious, Todd,
we
or-
might be going to our daily fantasy thing sooner rather than later.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, we're gonna run out of people picking. But 3 of us still in picked the 49ers to win. Jimmy and your co-host Aaron picked the Rams to win, so you're both still in it. Todd went with the Bills. That is just, man, to lose in a survivor pool on a game like that where the Bills were winning and to give it up like they did against the Steelers.
Yeah, I know, Dan.
That it's rough, but Todd, you still get to make a pick for the show. So who are you picking for this week unofficially?
I don't know. You guys go first.
All right. Jimmy, you want to make your pick?
I actually was prepared for this time. It's crazy what you do when you know about this ahead of time, Dan. I went with the Patriots on this one. I'm trying to get those like middle of the road teams that you don't know. They're facing the Jets. Bill Belichick just likes to destroy them. They had a lot of penalties last week. That's uncharacteristic. So I'm going to go with them. I think they'll win this one pretty easy and then keep me in this, which I really only need one more week to win because I'm assuming 5 other people are going to lose this week.
You don't think that Zach Wilson's going to be able to do it?
No, he didn't do that well against the Panthers defense. He's facing a Patriots defense, which is like the strong point of their team.
All right. I am going the opposite way, and I'm going with I think probably the stone cold lock of the century of the week with the Cleveland Browns over the Houston Texans.
No, man, I like the Texans. Not in that game.
I think you guys are high.
Dude, they're underrated right now.
Besides the point, Dan.
Yeah. My drug use is none of your business. No, I said this, what was it, on brand off topic with Todd the other day. The Texans, like, we give them so much shit because their coach and their owners nut jobs. Like, Tyrod Taylor's a serviceable quarterback. They have veterans running backs. Brandon Cooks is there. Their defense, they lost J.J. Watt, but homeboy was a skeleton when he was there. So I don't think they're a great team, but I don't think they're a bottom 5 team.
But the Browns were basically a botched punt away.
Yeah, I think the Browns will win this game.
Chiefs.
I just don't think the Texans are as bad as people think.
I think Grant, I give you that. I think in this matchup though, I like the Browns pretty heavily.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if you're looking for the stone cold lock of the week of the century,
Sure, yeah,
it's Buccaneers against the Falcons. The Falcons are absolute.
That's a
garbage.
pretty good one.
They were the only offense that was worse than the Packers last week. The Buccaneers, we know what they are.
But
We've
they scored
seen
6
them.
points. We only scored 3.
That's
Yep.
Is
Okay,
that game? Is that in Tampa or is it in Atlanta?
in Tampa.
Do you know? In
In
Tampa?
Tampa.
Oh yeah.
Man, Todd, if only you were still in this to make that pick.
Shut up. If Dan would have let me know, instead he cut me, made me choose something last second, and I didn't know what to do, and I panicked, and I went with the Bills.
I'm happy too because I was going to pick the Bills until you went before me and you picked them. So I changed my team. So thank you.
I'm not gonna apologize for anything because you had 49ers Lions just sitting there for you. Just sitting there waiting for you to pick.
What's the next segment?
We're going to bar bets. Let's get some bar bets in quick for this game on Monday.
Oh, before we do that, because I just remember this, because Dan, you and I have new digs here. at Survivors Bar and Grill at the Wilderness Resort. Shout out to them.
Shout out.
We should also remind the people about this contest, the best
Yes, we
Packers
should.
bar in America. Make sure you guys jump on and make your submissions there. Let us know where the best Packer bar in America is.
I have to say this. I went on and I've looked at the submissions we've gotten so far. We've gotten 13 so far in the week since it's been open. 7 of them are for the same bar. It's 7 different people submitting the same bar. Where are we going? It looks like we may be going to Northern Kentucky.
No, I'm not going to fucking Northern Kentucky. I'm just kidding. I'll go there.
Look, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. What I'm saying is that there is a contingent out there that is ready to take this over. So if you have a Packer bar that you want us to come out to, is the best Packer bar, you need to mobilize grassroots effort and get out there and let us know what it is. Otherwise, it's going to be buried by Covington.
If we go to Northern Kentucky and people have more than 5 teeth in their mouth at the bar, I'm not going because it's not authentic. So it better be one of those bars or I'm out.
Great, fair enough. Okay. Bar bets, gentlemen, for Monday. Do the Packers score a touchdown on their first drive, their first offensive drive? Jimmy?
Gosh, I want to say yes. Part of me is saying, Jimmy, you're a big dumb idiot for doing it. I'm gonna go yes. For the sole hope of they're just so incredibly embarrassed from last week that they come out on fire. Yes, I'm not confident in this. 3 Bakhtiaris.
Wow.
Todd?
I mean, they're overdue to score a touchdown.
I love it.
I feel like Dan Campbell they might lose this game by 3 touchdowns. The Lions might, but Dan Campbell will have that team ready to go coming out of the gates, reminding them to punch the Packers in the mouth early and make them think that last week is who they are. So I'm going to go 5 Bakhtiaris. No.
Oh,
wow.
Todd.
Wow. I agree with everything Todd's saying. I think that there's something to be said about that it's hard to just completely turn it around in that first drive after what happened there. But I think that Matt LaFleur is great at choreographing those first handful of plays. And I think this team knows what the Lions are. They know all the ins and outs of them. Run it down their throat. They get back in the rhythm. 4 Bakhtiaris, yes, they scored a touchdown on that opening drive. Guys, Jared Goff sacked 3 times against the 49ers. Over under 2.5 sacks on Jared Goff this week for the Packers defense, who did not register a sack against James Winston. Todd?
5 Bakhtiaris over.
Damn. All right. Jimmy?
4 Bakhtiaris under.
Pussy.
The 49ers defensive line and overall defense is better than the Packers.
Right.
And if they were only able to get 2.5 sacks, the Lions' strength is their offensive line. So
Is it?
Well, compared to the rest of their team.
I guess.
Here's the thing. Joe Barry heard me call him out.
Oh, yeah.
This team's coming ready to play.
You're forgetting the Joe Barry bump.
You're making me almost go 5 Bakhtiaris no at this point, honestly. That's your reasoning. So, yeah, I'm going to go no. We might get 2. I hope we get 2, and I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no as well, just because, again, I think that this team will dominate they'll be able to control this offense in different ways other than just pure sacks. Quarterback rushes, getting Jared Goff moving, coverage down the field, interceptions. I think that's where it's going to come from. I don't necessarily know if it's going to come purely on sacks. This team doesn't really feast on sacks much anymore. So I'm going to go 3 Bakhtiaris no or under. Finally, guys, will a Green Bay Packer rush for more than 75 yards? One single person more than 75 yards, Todd.
No. 5 Bakhtiaris now.
Oh, okay. Jimmy?
4 Bakhtiaris, yes. I think we're going to have a new commitment to a run game this week like we didn't have last week, and Jones will have a long run like he did against them last year.
I completely agree. 5 Bakhtiaris, yes. Somebody goes over 75 yards. I think this offense feasts on the ground game this week. I think that's the majority of it, and then there's big plays through the air to complement. So those are our bar bets, guys. Again, follow us on Twitter at Lombardi's Bar, at Game On WI. Subscribe on the YouTube channel as well if you have not done so already to get the notification every time that we go live. Gentlemen, do you want to let people know where they can find you and anything else you got to promote this week?
Todd.
You can find me at the Todd V on Twitter. Feel free to shoot me a message because the DM's always open. Would love to hear from any and all of you. You can catch me Friday. Friday, I will have an episode of Walking Off. If you're looking for some Brewers content, follow us there at Walking Off Pod. Next week, I will have On Brand and Off Topic with Jimmy and Aaron. Follow us there at On Brand Off Topic. And then also Tuesday, 7:00 on Game On Wisconsin. Catch Jimmy and I with Marquez Valdez-Scantling on the MVS show.
Jimmy?
Follow me at Jimmy_C08. Like Todd said, Tuesday, catch us at On Brand Off Topic. Also, that's with Aaron, and then MVS show on Tuesdays as well. He called me weird week 1. He called me a psychopath week 2. We'll see what kind of mean things he says to me next week. Wednesdays, catch me here, and then usually on Thursdays, catch me on Pack-A-Day. I was not on it this week, but I will usually be on there. Also, we decided, Dan, that this is not Game On anymore. It's Jimmy and Todd's network with just alternating guests that we have every day. So just so you know,
cool.
In future reference.
Cool. All right. I assume you'll change the Twitter handle then.
Yep.
Once you get that figured out, let me know. I am on Twitter at DK all the way. That has not changed at all. You can find me here every Wednesday with these guys, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Every other Tuesday on the Pack-A-Day podcast with Janelle Mackey and Eli Berkovitz. Had the episode this past week because we're always on after a shitty loss from the Packers. It's guaranteed. And then my article out every Friday, The Leap for Game On Wisconsin. So I hope you check that out as well. And again, those getting thrown up there at the NOLA Girl and LA Strong group on Twitter. If you want to follow everything that Tina was doing, our guest earlier, with everything, the hurricane relief down in New Orleans as well. Thanks again for Tina for joining us for that. For Jimmy, for
Real
Todd.
quick,
yes,
one other
Todd.
place that you can find all three of
Please.
us is at the Green Bay Distillery from 3 to 7 this Sunday, September 19th. This will be the first time the three of us have met.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's going to get weird. Shirts will come off.
Yeah.
Are we going to tie them together in a three-way?
I hope.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And can you go into a little more detail for people listening? What do you mean by that?
Show up on Sunday. We'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah. And take PTO on Monday because we're tailgating. The Cotnicks are tailgating all day Monday. Take the PTO, come down, and get stupid. It's the first time the Packers are back in Lambeau, guys, with a full crowd in over 670 freaking days. Let's get weird, guys. For Nick, for Jimmy, for Todd, I'm Dan. We'll see you next week. Cheers. Go Pack Go.